Good morning, students. Today we'll continue with the same chapter, circulatory system of the human body. The first topic is to how to identify the different types of blood vessels. Here are the different types of blood vessels. They are artery, veins, and capillary. The three types of blood vessels are artery, vein, and capillaries. The largest artery is called aorta, and the largest vein is called vena cava. And this one is the capillary. Now, how to identify which one is a artery, which one is a vein? If you see in the blood vessel here, there's a space here. This is the wall of the blood vessel. There's a space inside. Through this space, the blood will flow. The wall of the blood vessel is made up of three layers. They are tunica externa, tunica media, tunica interna, or fibrous coat, muscular coat, and endothelium. And the space is lumen. Now, to identify which one is artery and which one is vein, both has the three layers. If you see in artery, the lumen is narrow, this one is broad. Next, if you see the thickness of the wall, this one is broad, this one is thin. So, to identify artery, lumen is narrow and the wall of the blood vessel is thick. So, this one is the artery. Here, lumen is large, wall of the blood vessel is thin. So, this one is the vein. Now, this third blood vessel has only single layer, tunica interna or endothelium. This blood vessel is capillary. So, you must know how to identify from the diagram the three types of blood vessel. First, you look for the lumen, then the thickness. Lumen narrow, thick wall, that is artery. The wall is thick in artery because blood flows under pressure, so it has to resist that pressure. But in vein, blood flows very low pressure, so the wall need not be thick. Now, the differences between artery and vein. If they ask you such structural differences, then you go for lumen, narrow, vein. So, this one is your artery now, this one is your vein, narrow lumen, broad lumen, thick wall, thin wall, and valves are present in the veins and absent in the artery. As we have studied, valves are structures which allows the flow of blood only in one direction. The valve which is present in the blood vessel, in the veins especially, are called pocket valves. The working of the pocket valves we'll do later on. Now, the other differences are, so as I told you, if they ask you to give the structural difference, you give these three structural differences, and you can remember with the help of the diagram. Now, all arteries carry blood away from the heart. Last time we learned aorta comes out from the heart, it moves downward, branches and rebranches. All veins will carry blood towards the heart. Now, pulmonary artery is the blood vessel that starts from the right ventricle to the lung. And if you can recollect, this blood vessel is pulmonary artery. And the right side of the heart deals with deoxygenated blood. Since this pulmonary artery carries blood from the right ventricle to the lungs, they carry deoxygenated blood. But as I told you, all arteries carry oxygenated blood. Exception, remember this one, pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood means blood which is rich in carbon dioxide and less oxygen. Pulmonary vein, it starts from the lungs, and as you know, we have done before, in the lungs, oxygenation of blood takes place. And since this pulmonary vein brings blood from the lungs to the left auricle, it carries oxygenated blood. But overall, all arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. All veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary veins. Thick wall, thin wall. Then, yeah, in arteries, blood flows under pressure. And in the veins, blood flows under low pressure. So these are the ways to identify. In ICSE, they give you the diagram. They won't mention here the names. They'll write the numbers. And another set of naming also you must know, both set. This one is tunica externa or fibrous coat. Tunica media, second one, shaded portion is muscular coat, and the inner single layer of cell is the endothelium. To identify capillary, there's only endothelium. So this is the way how to identify the blood vessels. Now, blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue which consists of 55% plasma, the fluid part here, and 45% blood cells. There are three types of blood cells. Namely, red blood cells, they are called erythrocytes, white blood cells, WC, leukocytes, and platelets, called thrombocytes. Platelets, thrombocytes, erythrocytes, and leukocytes. Now, so the blood consists of two parts, the blood cells and 45% and plasma 55%. Plasma is a straw-colored watery part of the blood which comprises of 90% water with dissolved substances like salts, protein, amino acid, fats, etc. Now, the most important, this point you have to remember, the most important soluble protein present in the plasma of the blood is called fibrinogen. This protein helps the blood to clot when the blood vessels are damaged. Clotting of blood means changing of liquid blood into a semi-solid form when the blood vessels are damaged. So it prevents the flow of blood when the blood vessels are damaged. And this clotting mechanism of clotting of blood we'll do later on. Now, the three types of blood cells are red blood cells, erythrocyte. Now, how to identify? They are concave in shape. Concave in shape without nucleus. White blood cells, they are shapeless. They can change their shape according to their own will. And they have nucleus. Blood platelets. Blood platelets are pigments of cells in the blood which helps in the clotting of the blood. Now, the function of RBC, one function of each cells you must know. RBC contains an important pigment called hemoglobin, which is red in color, so it imparts the blood a red color. Hemoglobin helps to transport oxygen from the lungs to the cells. Hemoglobin combines with oxygen in the lungs, and oxygen is transported in the form of oxyhemoglobin from the lungs to the cell. So overall function of red blood cell is to transport oxygen. White blood cells, they are larger, shapeless. That means they can change their shape. So it helps to protect our body from disease-producing organism. Blood platelets helps in clotting of blood. Now, another important thing you must know is the differences between red blood cells, erythrocytes, and white blood cells, leukocytes. Sometimes they'll use WBC, sometimes they'll use RBC. So both ways, erythrocyte, leukocytes, you must know both the names. Now, how to remember? Notes are there, diagrams here, but how to remember the differences? See, first difference, red blood cells, biconcave in shape. They are shapeless. Red blood cells contain hemoglobin, white blood cells, hemoglobin absent. RBC have no nucleus, white blood cell has a nucleus. So these are the differences between red blood cells and white blood cells. Now, two important terms with respect to the white blood cells. The two terms you must know, one is diapedesis and the second term phagocytosis. Now, what is diapedesis and what is phagocytosis? Since white blood cells can change its shape, so it can come out from the tiny pores of the capillaries. Because it can change its shape, this oozing out or coming out of the white blood cells from the wall of the blood vessel, that is capillaries, is called diapedesis. It's called diapedesis. And what is phagocytosis? As it when comes out, it can change its shape and can move slowly. Any shape it can change, it slowly moves, and these are the germs that happens to enter in a body which cause disease. Slowly they engulf and destroy the germs. Therefore, white blood cells protect our body from disease-producing organism. So very important, diapetes and phagocytosis. So in this diagram, sometime comes, they'll ask you to label these parts. This one, concave, biconcave, red blood cell. Shapeless, white blood cells. Platelets and plasma. And if they ask you, which type of blood vessel is this one? Can it be artery? Can it be vein or capillaries? They are capillaries because they have tiny pores through which only the white blood cells can show diapedesis. But here the walls are thick, so diapedesis cannot take place in the artery and the veins. Now, what is serum? Another important term, serum is a blood plasma from which fibrinogen has been extracted. And in the blood bank, blood is stored in the form of serum, otherwise the blood will clot. Now, the exchange of materials in the tissue. These are the cells of the tissue. The largest artery, aorta, comes out from the heart, carries blood to different parts, it branches. The branch of the aorta is called artery, and further branching of artery, smaller ones, are called arterioles. And further branching of arterioles are called capillaries. See, this dotted lines represent capillaries. And when it comes out from the tissue, the arteries will unite to form thin walled blood vessels called venules. Venules will unite. From the arrowhead you have to identify, this one is bringing blood to the tissue, means this is arteriole, this is venule. If the arrows change, the naming system will also change. And venules will combine to form veins, and veins will combine to form the largest vein called vena cava. Now see, in the cells, as a result of respiration, carbon dioxide is produced and waste product due to metabolism are produced in the cell, and this waste products and carbon dioxide have to be eliminated from a body. So they have to reach to the respective excretory organs. Now the blood flowing through the capillaries has oxygen, food materials, which has to enter into the cells. So there is no medium for its transportation. So in this case, a part of the blood flows out from the capillaries and fills up the space between the cells. This fluid is called lymph or intercellular fluid. Now, the concentration of carbon dioxide being higher in the cells, then the blood in the capillary, it will diffuse out into the lymph and enter into the capillaries. And similarly, waste product also comes out from the cells and finally makes its entry into the blood in the capillaries. Now the oxygen is rich in the capillaries, it will diffuse out into the plasma and from the plasma into the cells. Food materials from the blood in the capillaries diffuse out and enters into the cells. So this way exchange of material takes place. As the blood flows through the veins, these waste products are transported to their respective organs of excretion. So this much for today. We will continue next class.